This is verse 24 of the 4th chapter of the Gospel of John. Jesus is instructing the woman at the well. He's just told her that God is one who is to be worshipped in spirit and in truth, ruling out some preoccupation with a geographic venue, as if God could only be sought out or found in a particular geographic place. There had been an ongoing, persisting debate between the Samaritans and the Jewish people as to whether or not a particular location was the appropriate place to worship, and of course Jesus now sets that aside, getting at much more of a deep understanding of the nature of God, the nature of worship. Certainly in the Old Testament there had been this idea of a central sanctuary and pilgrimage and such things, but all of that is set aside in the New, and Jesus really reaches in many ways the heart of the matter here in one of the most profound statements to be made anywhere in the Scripture concerning the character of God, when he says here, verse 24, pneuma, this is the word for spirit, and then ho theos, spirit, the God. The verb of being is missing. It's implied, esten, we might have expected there, but the way this statement is constructed in Greek is actually to give somewhat more force to it. The subject has to be theos because it's preceded by the article. So we would read it, God, the true God, is spirit. It's not that the true God is a spirit, because grammatically that's not the sense of the text. The fact that it starts with spirit, pneuma, ho theos, makes it clear that the point of this statement is not simply to indicate in some sort of discrete sense that God is a spirit as other beings are spirits, but that at the very heart of the matter, God is spirit. God is fundamentally spirit, and that mysterious predicate that we assign to God, of course, gets at the very heart of the nature of what and who he is. That, of course, leads us then immediately to the extrapolation of it that Jesus draws here, kai tous proskununtas, same word that we saw in the preceding verse, and actually have seen several times in this text, proskuneo, literally to bow down, to worship. This is the accusative, plural, masculine participle. So it would be the worshiping and then auton him. So literally, and the worshiping him ones. We would idiomatically translate it, those who worship him. So God is spirit, and those who worship him in pneumati. The preposition in takes the dative. So in spirit, kai aletheia, in truth. Both of these, of course, in the dative. And so those who worship him must worship him in spirit and truth. And that's what Jesus says here. De only occurs in this form in the New Testament, third person, singular. It is necessary would be the idea. It always takes the infinitive. It is necessary, proskunein, to worship. This is a present infinitive, meaning it is necessary to go on worshiping. And the sense here is that because God is spirit, it requires that true worshipers worship on the same ground. This, of course, gets pretty close to the reason why there's such a harsh repudiation in the Old Testament of graven images. Any attempt we may have to try to create some sort of visible form by which God is to be worshipped, even if a person denies it and says, well, I'm only using this image as a vehicle to help me focus on God, even that gets a person extraordinarily misguided in their understanding. God is one to be worshipped in spirit, not using artifacts of various kinds, and this really gets at the heart of the matter. It's the reason that those prohibitions are found in the Old Testament and certainly continue in the New. And so Jesus gets to a very profound level with this woman now, setting aside the debate over venue, the debate over geography, and giving us at the same time one of the most profound insights into the character of God and the character of worship to be found anywhere in the Scriptures.